How's it going, everybody, as we get ready to start week 5 of the NFL? That's just my opinion sports. And let's get ready for our picks and see who's going to win this week in week 5 of NFL football. And first off, due to the beer flu, we're going to have, let's see, Buffalo and Tennessee move to Tuesday at 4 o'clock. And then Denver and New England have been to move to Monday as well. And then, of course, the Chargers and Saints, they were going to be on Monday Night Football anyway, so that hasn't changed. But everything else looks like it's a go. Um, on CBS Sportsline, they were talking about the Kansas City strength and conditioning coach coming up positive. I don't think that's going to have any effect on the Las Vegas Kansas City game. Uh, so that looks good. Looks like that game's going to take place as planned, 12 o'clock tomorrow on CBS, or 11 o'clock Central Standard Time. So let's run through our quick picks. We've got Miami at San Fran. They say Jimmy G is supposed to play tomorrow. If that's true, the Niners should be able to handle a Miami team that's playing a lot better football. They're still losing. They're 0-4, but if Jimmy G don't play, I do think there's a chance Miami could pull the upset. But if they get Jimmy G back and he's at least 75% of himself, the Niners will win. If not, I'd be more skeptical about it. But if it is true that Jimmy G is coming back, I like the Niners. Let's see. Then we got Jacksonville at Houston. Gosh. I like Houston. I think they're finally going to get that first win. Maybe getting rid of Bill O'Brien. Romeo Cornell taking over as the intern coach. Maybe getting some fresh ideas. Maybe getting that off the players back. Maybe they'll play for him. Cornell, he's a very loved coach. So hopefully they'll play for him. Deshaun Watson, still one of the best quarterbacks in the league. It's just been a tumultuous season so far in Houston, but I think they'll get the win over Jacksonville to get that first W. Then we got the Arizona at the Jets. After starting 2-0, the Cardinals have lost their last two. I think they'll get back in the win column and get to 3-2. I got the Cards in that one. Philly at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, of course, had their bye week last week after the Titans Pittsburgh game was moved to week 7. I like Pitt over Philly. I think that Pittsburgh defense is just too mean. Cincinnati at Baltimore. The spread is 13 points. I like Baltimore. Joe Burrow has been playing great, but I think there's just too much of a talent difference between the two teams. I think Burrow will play a solid game, but in the end, Baltimore just a much better team. The Rams at Washington. SJW is going a little crazy on this one. I've seen some things from Outkick with Clay Travis and Whitlock where they're calling out people, saying that Ron Rivera's racist for benching Haskins. Well, maybe he's just not playing that well. It does happen. Plenty of quarterbacks have been benched because they're just not getting it done. So I think it's kind of nonsense. And it's 2020, so you can't very well be surprised when crap like this gets thrown out there. Ron Rivera, I don't think is a racist guy. I mean, I don't think if he was such a racist, I don't think he would have tried to draft Cam Newton in the 2011 NFL draft. So it is what it is. But I like the Rams, of course, top to bottom. Much better, whether it's Kyle Allen or if Alex Smith is cleared to play. whoever's the quarterback for the Washington football team, it's not going to matter. The Rams, much better team. Um, I'll do. I'll go ahead and say New England if Cam's cleared to play. Uh, Gosh, I think Denver will win if not. If Stidham or gosh, I'm drawing a blank on that guy. Either way, if it's not Cam Newton lining up at quarterback for the New England Patriots, I think Denver will win. Minnesota at Seattle, I've got to stick with the Seahawks. Russell Wilson is just playing lights out. To me, he's the MVP right now. Or at least it's neck and neck between him and Mahomes. I probably would give the edge to Russell Wilson because I think the Chiefs would still be competitive. They probably wouldn't be 4-0 without Mahomes, but they'd still be a very good football team. I don't know where the Seahawks team would be without Russell Wilson. So to me, Russ is the MVP right now, and then I like New Orleans over the Los Angeles Chargers. And I'm going to do Buffalo, Tennessee pick. I'm going to do it on Tuesday. I'll have my own video come out on that on Tuesday. So I've got a few more breakdowns. Like I was saying, I got a few more picks I want to dive a little bit deeper into like I normally do. Dallas and the Giants. The Cowboys have the worst defense in the NFL. They're giving up 36.5 points per game, over 430 yards per game. It's pretty pitiful, considering they have the number one offense in the NFL. And they should easily be better than 1-3 right now. And the only thing that's saving them in their playoff contention is the fact that they play in the worst division in football with the New York Giants, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Washington football team. That's the only reason that they even have a shot at the playoffs this year. Dak Prescott has been playing lights out. He has 1,690 yards passing. 1,690 yards passing, 9 touchdown passes to only 3 picks. He also has 3 rushing touchdowns. He's the first quarterback in NFL history to throw for 450 yards in 3 straight games. It's amazing. The only problem is they're not doing anything with it. They're losing. They've lost 2 out of the 3 games, and they've been behind double digits. Is the reason he's had to pass that much. And not only are these great stats for Dak, but you're having to eliminate Ezekiel Elliott, one of your best weapons. Because, yes, these are great stats for Dak, and they look great on football cards, but it's not leading to success. When you're not getting Ezekiel Elliott out there, and you're not controlling the time of possession, you're not getting first downs, and you're not keeping your horrible defense off the field and getting them rest. So even though Dak is putting up these great numbers, it's not leading to the success that the Cowboys need. They need a shot in the butt in defense. They need help. One way or the other. I mean, these are just killer numbers. Amari Cooper, 401 yards. He's got 37 catches, but only 1 touchdown. CeeDee Lamb, 21 catches, 309 yards, 2 touchdowns. 6 different Cowboys have caught a touchdown pass this year. But it's just not leading to success. And then you go to the poor New York Giants, who have just been, it's been a pretty abysmal year. Certainly not what Daniel Jones was hoping for. Certainly not what New York fans in general were hoping for. And looking at Daniel Jones's number, especially after the Saquon Barkley injury, which was the last thing Giants fans and the Giants organization wanted to see um, Daniel Jones on the year, 2 touchdowns, 5 picks, 889 yards. Uh, Sadly, he also leads the Giants in rushing. He's got 137 yards on 18 carries. I think they started Devontae Freeman, and now they moved to Wayne Gallman, running back from Clemson a couple years ago. He's got 10 carries for 52 yards. I think last week against the Rams they brought him in. Darius Slayton's their leading receiver as far as yardage goes. 256 yards, 2 touchdowns. Evan Ingram's the leading receiver with 17 catches, but only 131 yards. I mean, the Giants have talent. Evan Ingram's one of the best tight ends in the NFL, at least one of the top 10 in my opinion. But if Daniel Jones cannot get him the football, it doesn't do any good. So, it's really really back and forth. Now the Giants on defense, they played the Rams pretty tough. Uh, Frustrated Goff kept the Rams in front of them. Didn't let the Rams make a lot of big plays against them last week. And Dallas does open themselves up. They have give they've had 9 turnovers. Believe in the last couple weeks, or that might be for the year. Uh, but either way, Dallas does leave themselves open for mistakes. 9 turnovers, despite all the yardage and scoring they're doing. Uh, so New York does have a chance, but I don't think. I think Dallas will actually get things right this week and get back on the winning ways. At least get their record to 2-3, and the Giants will fall to 0-5. Now, my next one is Atlanta versus Carolina. Atlanta is -1. They're a 1-point favorite. The Falcons, of course, are 0-4. They've had the 2 major leads blown against the Cowboys and against the Bears. It's just been a rough year for Atlanta defensively. They've been great offensively, except for the 2 blown leads, where they've got pretty decent margins, pretty big leads, and then just sputtered offensively. Just collapsing, choking. Don't know what, especially the Bears game. Which, to be fair, that is a very good Bears defense. The fact that they were able to kind of jump on them was impressive in the first place, and it shows the talent level that the Falcons have on offense. That they were able to do that to a team like the Bears and that kind of defense that they have. But the bad news for the Falcons, Julio Jones will be out with a hamstring injury. The good news is Calvin Ridley is healthy, and Ridley to me has kind of emerged as the number 1. I know Julio kind of takes the pressure away from Ridley, so Ridley's going to get his shot as the number 1 guy with Julio out, so we'll see how that plays. But the Falcons already a rough secondary. They're going to be even more banged up now. Going up against a hot Teddy Bridgewater. Bridgewater is starting to look more and more comfortable in that Matt Rule offense. Really struggled at first, especially after Christian McCaffrey went out. But now they're 2-2. They're back at 500. But the bookies know something to put that game, to put the Falcons a 1-point favorite. Don't ever those bookies, they know something when they make a line like that. Mike Davis has come in. He came in last week. I think he's got 30 carries, 131 yards, and a touchdown. Robbie Anderson seems to be the leading receiver so far for the Panthers. 28 catches, 377 yards and a touchdown. Um, Matt Ryan, he's got good numbers. 1,246 yards, 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I was talking about Ridley, 21 receptions, 349 yards. He leads the team with 4 touchdowns. Todd Gurley, uh, to me, that's going to be the Falcons' best lane of attack. The Panthers have a pretty solid pass defense, but they do struggle against the run D. And if Todd Gurley, if they can exploit that, make Carolina respect the pass, and then attack them with Todd Gurley, Atlanta can be successful. And I actually think that's what they'll do to some success. And that could free up Ridley and let Atlanta do what they would like to do offensively, and could lead to some big points. I do think it's going to be kind of a shootout just because of how banged up Atlanta's D is. But I get the feeling Atlanta really needs this one. If they lose this one and fall to 0-5, you could see a new coach. I don't think he'll last if he goes to 0-5. I mean, maybe I'm wrong about it. Certainly, I've been wrong a lot. So I'm not going to act like I'm some know-it-all, because, certainly if I was, I wouldn't be making a YouTube video here in my house. So either way, but I do think the Falcons will get their first win of the year over the Carolina Panthers. All right, next up we got Las Vegas versus Kansas City. Another matchup of two very good quarterbacks coming in. Derek Carr really playing some of his best football of his career. Pat Mahomes, of course, best quarterback in football, best player in football. If you look at their numbers, Derek Carr, 5 yards, you might as well round it up and say 1,100 yards passing, 8 touchdowns, no picks. And then you look at Pat Mahomes, 1,100 yards passing, 11 touchdowns. To me, the disappointing part for the Raiders, I'm a little disappointed in Josh Jacobs. I really thought he would have had a better year. He's only got 300 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. Clyde Edwards-Helaire for the Chiefs, he's got 304 yards and 1 touchdown. His numbers kind of understand. I mean, he's in such a lethal passing offense, and plus they use him out of the backfield pretty well. They haven't got the ball. Josh Jacobs just hasn't been the dual threat I was hoping he would be in Las Vegas this year, at least as much of a threat. Darren Waller for Las Vegas has been tremendous. 29 catches, 247 yards and a touchdown. Hunter Renfrow is the number one actual wide receiver with 16 catches, 199 yards and a touchdown. And, of course, the speed demon for the Chiefs, Tyreek Hill, 19 catches, 286 yards, 4 touchdowns. And the actual number one reception leader for the Chiefs, Travis Kelce, 297 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now, I do think Josh Jacobs has an opportunity. Kansas City Chiefs have the second worst rush defense. They're ranked 31st in the NFL in rush defense. So if Josh Jacobs is going to have a breakout game, it could be this week. As much as John Gruden talked about using him and making him an influential part of the offense, I hope he does. This would be the week to do it. Because the Chiefs have the number 2 pass defense. And with Tyrann Mathieu, the Chiefs have the safeties and cornerbacks that they're going to frustrate already kind of weak group of receivers for the Las Vegas Raiders. Darren Waller, their tight end, he's kind of been the do-it-all guy for the Vegas Raiders offense. So I hope Gruden kind of sticks to that plan and makes Josh Jacobs the centerpiece of this offense. At least if they have any chance of winning, I think that's what Las Vegas needs to do. Um, I know Carr hasn't thrown a pick, and that's been because he's been very careful. He's played smart, but the Raiders have lost two in a row, and when you're playing the defending Super Bowl champions, who have, other than the Chargers game, have played very well. I know they kind of tussled back and forth with the with the Patriots, but the Patriots are a stubborn and a tough team, and when you beat 26-10, that's still a pretty dominating win. So, you know, when you're an 11-point underdog on the road at the defending Super Bowl champions home field, you need to get a solid game plan and you need to stick to it. So I hope they go with Josh Jacob. That to me seems the only weakness or their best chance. Now John Gruden is a genius. I'm not. So we'll see what he comes up with. But frankly, that's the Chiefs' best chance too. Well, I don't know why I'm saying that, but that's the Raiders' biggest weakness. They're 25th in rush defense as well. But with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I think Kansas City, Andy Reid, he knows how to spread teams out. Not only can they use Edwards-Helaire, they can use Tyreek Hill. Patrick Mahomes is a good way to spread teams out too. He's lethal running, so not really worried about the Chiefs near as much as I am about Vegas, and that's why I think the Chiefs will probably cover the 11. I'm staying away from the spreads, but I do think the Chiefs will win the game, and I do think it'll be rather easy. So I wouldn't be surprised in a 34-20, 28-14, but the Chiefs will win, and they'll move to 5-0, and the Raiders will fall to 2-3. All right, and last but not least, to me, the game of the week this Sunday. Frankly, the two streakiest teams coming in. You got the Colts and the Browns. Both teams started 0-1. They're now 3-1. The Colts, top 4 defense, really a top 5 defense. Let's see here. The Colts have the 4th best rush defense and the number 1 pass defense in the NFL against Cleveland's rushing attack, which is the number 1 rush attack in the NFL. So something is going to break this weekend. And I do look forward to seeing it. Cleveland is averaging 204 yards per game on the ground. Now Nick Chubb will not be playing this week, so they're going to be turning to Kareem Hunt and D'Ernest Johnston, who really filled in kind of nice last week for the Browns. Of course, Kareem Hunt, you know what he's going to do. He'll take over as the number 1 back for Chubb. I really look forward to this because, to me, I think the Colts, shockingly, I honestly didn't expect them to be that good. I thought they would finish about 8-8. I thought the Chargers got rid of Phillip Rivers because he was turnover prone, and he had pretty much lost his game. But hats off to the Colts. They've seen something that I just didn't see. And, of course, who am I? But anyways, they picked him up. It was a smart decision because if you look at how he's leading them, where Jacoby Brissett just couldn't do it last year, where Brissett might have been better at certain things than Rivers is, there's just something that he commands that offense better. And just hats off to him. I mean, you look at Rivers, and they've really been kind of conservative with him. He's only got 984 yards passing, only 4 touchdowns, 3 picks. Jonathan Taylor, on the other hand, the running back, 65 carries, only 250 yards, 3 touchdowns. So the Colts have been winning, playing smart, and with great defense. And, that's not the real popular style in today's NFL, but it's working for them. And so hats off to the Colts, and they've dominated, especially what they did to Chicago last week really opened up my eyes, because I think the Bears, and I may be biased towards them. I mean, they've never been one of my favorite teams, but for some reason, with the defense they have and getting Nick Foles, I really think that's a nice combination to success later on in the season, especially towards the playoffs. But anyways, for what the Colts did to them and what they've done to the Vikings and to to other teams, I've just been real impressed with what the Colts have done after that Week 1 loss to Jacksonville. And Cleveland, what they've done after bouncing back after getting crushed 38-6 by Baltimore, after saying, you know what, we're not going to be a pass-heavy team. We're not going to lean on Baker. We've got a solid offensive line and good running backs. Let's lean on them and then work off the play action. Then get the ball to our great receivers and tight ends. And that's what they're doing, and it's working beautifully. And it's taking the pressure off Baker Mayfield, as now he's got 729 yards passing, 7 touchdowns, and only 2 picks. This is the style Baker Mayfield needs to be successful. Now, yes, he doesn't have the yardage that Phillip Rivers has, but he's got, 3 more touchdowns and 1 less interception. So, Cleveland, to me, is playing a lot better ball offensively, and they've been doing great. Their defense has been kind of sliding by unnoticed, as they have forced 11 turnovers, which is number 1 in the NFL, including 8 in the past 2 games, which is very, very impressive. 4 turnovers a game, and but with both of these quarterbacks have been turnover prone in the past, I'm going to go with Cleveland to get the win at home over the Colts. And I don't think it'll be as clean played as Cleveland has played. I do think Baker Mayfield will make a mistake, maybe 2. But I also think the way Cleveland has been forcing turnovers, I think Myles Garrett is coming into his own. I would not be surprised if he fumbles Phillip Rivers, or the Cleveland Brown defense will force Phillip Rivers to make a mistake or 2, and I just think that Cleveland will force enough mistakes out of Cleveland and out of the Colts and Rivers to get the win, and it'll put Indianapolis at 3-2, and the Browns will go to 4-1. Gosh, imagine saying that, the Cleveland Browns at 4-1. But that's my prediction, and I'm sticking to it. So I'll have my college football review of today's games. I'll have that tomorrow, and also hopefully we'll have a preview of the ALCS tonight. So that's my opinion, sports. Y'all take care. God bless. Peace.